Welcome to London.
London, a city of stories to tell, in its grandeur and charm we dwell. It reminds me of Queen Elizabeth's grace, a royal presence in this historic place. Buckingham Palace, regal and grand, you better watch the change of guard and its marching band. At Lord's they play the gentleman's game, on the courts of Wimbledon they take great aim. Wembley hosts their national pride, but for Stamford Bridge we'd put everything aside. From the Ice Heights to the palace's dome, London's splendors makes the city a home. From Big Ben's chimes to Tower Bridge with its majestic face, spanning the Thames with elegance and grace. A symbol of strength, a sight to behold. London's history in iron and gold. In London's heart, where stories blend, Borough Market, a foodie's friend. With stalls of flavors, colors and sound, a culinary treasure to be found. Chicken tikka masala, their national dish. Flavor from home, fulfilling every Indian's wish. In London's East End, a historical treat. Bagel bakes, salt beef bagel, you'd be lucky to eat. Dishon's ambience, a Bombay delight. Dal cooked for 24 hours just to get it right. Platform 9 3/4, a magical place where Harry Potter joined the Hogwarts race. Piccadilly Circus, a neon delight with theatres and shops aglow at night. In Covent Garden, street performers danced, their talent and energy truly entranced. On an Oxford trip, a scholarly quest, exploring the ancient halls, we feel truly blessed. St. Paul's Cathedral, a masterpiece in stone, its dome a symbol of faith firmly sown. Westmister Abbey, a majestic sight where monarchs and royals find their light. Hyde Park stands as the oldest in town, where city and nature unite under the crown. Surrey's countryside is a tranquil sight where natural beauty takes its flight. St. James' Church, with its ancient grace, a timeless presence in this quiet place. With longing in my heart, I must depart. But London, dear London, you stole my heart. 7 days in London has filled our spirits in awe. While we share it with others, we will be back for sure.
Day 1 in London. So we checked into the Marriott, we were staying near the airport. Then we headed out and got some Greg's coffee to get a local flavor of what London's all about. Then we went to the train station. Thank you. And we got our first Oyster card, which we were going to use to travel all across the city. Then we got our Lycra SIM cards, which are data SIM cards that we were going to use throughout the trip. After that, we went to Borough Market because we were feeling a little grubby. And what a beautiful place for foodies it is. Our first stop was the salt beef stall, where she blowtorched the cheese onto the salt beef. And every bite was so juicy.
So good.
Then we went to a paella stall where the lady was super friendly and the paella was lovely.
Wow.
Like it was literally making your mouth salivate just watching it. Then we went to this Black Pig.
Yeah, that looks good.
Where they served us some pulled pork sandwiches, which was so juicy, every bite just dripped down your beard. To top it all, we went to Humble Crumble, where we had an apple crumble, and I can't recommend this enough. It was just tasty, it was the perfect way to end our lunch on day 1.
Yummy.
Yummy.
Then we walked towards Tower Bridge, and on the way we saw these old telephone booths. We thought they were extinct by now, but they're still there in London. So we took a few photos and then we made our way towards the promenade. Along the Thames it was super chilly, but when we saw Tower Bridge open up and the ships pass through, it was totally worth it. Like that sight was worth visiting that place for. Anyway, it was quite a cold night and it was our first day in London, so we headed back and called it a day.
So day 2 we went to Leicester Square, and Leicester Square is a crowded and lively place.
I like this weather.
Full of art and culture, and you can see musicians all around there. There's a lot of places of food to eat there. So we 3 guys were feeling hungry, so we went to the 5 guys and we had burger, fries and sipped some beer. So we went to the Lego store, and this is the world's largest Lego store. And we were surprised to see a 20 feet Big Ben, and it is made up of 2 lakh Lego bricks. If you want to go for a theatre show, go to Leicester Square at the box office. The same day, you will get a tickets at the discounted price.
This is what happens when you finally make it.
So how did you make it? Running.
He made me run so much.
So on the open space, we saw some people gathered there writing with the colorful chalks, their names and some pictures. So we also, became a part of that by writing, leaving a mark of Musketeers on that place.
Willow pondering on his next poem. Before the theatre, there's always time for beer. And we know who the sweet tooth in the family is.
We went to watch the Phantom of the Opera at Her Majestic Theatre. It was a very nice show there. And the most important part is, at the last, we saw the chandelier falling. It was like as if falling on our head only. Close to Leicester Square is Piccadilly Circus. Piccadilly Circus is full of life, and you could see the illuminated lights there. It was like as if you were in Times Square in New York. So we walked around Soho and Chinatown. It was a large street full of life and nightlife, and we had a couple of pints there before going for dinner to Nando's to taste the peri-peri chicken.
Day 3, Sunday morning. Our sweet cousin Geeta said she's going to drive us around the countryside, something that we had never done before. We got in the car and drove south towards Surrey. The drive was beautiful, the roads were fabulous, and we enjoyed reminiscing old memories with Geeta. Our first stop was at Box Hill, where the view was breathtaking. There were a lot of people around enjoying picnics and cycling on their bikes. Then we headed to Share, which is a beautiful English village between the towns of Guildford and Dorking. We finally had lunch at the William Bray. At William Bray, we enjoyed lovely food and a few local beers. St. James Church, a 12th century church, which is the oldest church in the area, has all of the history inscribed on the stones. Silent Pool. It's a spring-fed lake at the foot of the Downs, but it's also called a haunted lake. Near the Silent Pool is the gin distillers who create unique local gin, and all ingredients are locally sourced. While driving down, we took a detour to the racecourse. Epsom Downs is one of the oldest and unusually flat and testing racing track. The climax of it all, to finish our day, was a Sunday roast at Spencer's. Sunday roast is roasted meat served with stuffing and gravy, accompanied with a light and fluffy Yorkshire pudding. And that is day 3 in London.
So we woke up on day 4 and we headed all the way across the city to the east side of London, where there was Bagel Bake. Now Bagel Bake is known for its soft beef bagels. So you have queues standing outside this place for hours and they just get sold out. So you're really lucky if you even get one sandwich. We got our sandwich and we devoured it. It was beautiful. So we came back to the center of town, met my mother, and then we headed to the Science Museum. The Science Museum is filled with interesting artifacts, from like olden days to like something new that's completely virtual reality. We sat in a flight simulator that was like 360 all around, and we sat in some 4D rides which were incredible, and we really enjoyed it. Then we stopped at the famous King's Cross station, where we could take a picture with the famous Harry Potter cart going into the wall. And it's got a surreal experience because you see a lot of tourists doing this all across, and we just enjoyed it. We were part of the clan. So we enjoyed a few drinks to the little creatures. The bartender poured us some really nice beer, and we had a few beers, and then we headed to Dishoom for dinner. Here they have a dal that they cook for 24 hours just to get it right, and it was pretty perfect by the end of it. It was a lovely meal, especially eating Indian food in London. But then again, chicken tikka masala is their national dish. And that is day 4 in London.
Day 5, we find ourselves in Putney. So we got on from the bus and went to Putney to our Airbnb. It was so difficult to find the key there in spite of all the instructions. And finally, after a 10-minute search, we found the key.
Finally, we have opened the door.
So it was a 2-bedroom apartment, beautiful apartment, which was very airy with large windows, and it has a beautiful bathtub there. The kitchen was set up nicely. We went to Sainsbury's supermarket, got ourselves some beer and sausages, stocked our fridge there, and made ourselves a lovely breakfast. We went to Covent Garden, which is a vibrant place for shopping, dining and entertainment. So there's a lot of street performances in Covent Garden, and we could see a magic show where the guy was literally making us laugh, quite humorous.
Stop checking Tinder, you're not going to find me.
We also saw the guy on the cycle displaying his skills with the fire and the sword. We saw lovely music going on, ladies singing there, and everybody stood there watching her. But the best view that you can get from there is when we went to Punch and Judy. It's a 18th century pub, which is an iconic place, and we were lucky to get a place in the balcony there where we could watch the performances from there. So we had some fish and chips, sipped ourselves with some lovely beer and watched the performance from the end. So just a small walk from there, we just went to a place called Infinity Chambers, where there are 100 of LED lights displayed there. Lights are bright in color and keep on changing. So we took some good pictures in that place. When we came to Putney, we just grabbed some kebabs from Trash Grill and some chicken shawarma. So we walked around Putney Bridge, very beautiful to walk. So we went to Wagamama. And then we had a lovely meal there. We had some ramen, noodles, prawn and sipped some beer. That's your day 5 in London.
Day 6. And today we are going to visit all the landmarks. It's so good. Wake up early in the morning and go to Buckingham Palace. The change of guard will leave you in awe. Take in the history, walking through the palace grounds. Soak in the magnificent view of London by taking a ride in the London Eye. Walk by the Thames to reach Big Ben to enjoy the chimes. Westminster Abbey, a must-see, where royals tie the knot. St. Paul's Cathedral, where the dome is a symbol of faith, and the architecture speaks for itself. Lord's, where history was made in 1983, and the Indians cannot forget it. And finally, the All-England Lawn Tennis Club, Wimbledon, a must-see for the tennis buffs. After a tiring day, stop over at Hyde Park, a place of relaxation, and it has something for everyone.
The 7th and final day, we were on a scholarly journey. So we headed to the Victorian coach terminus, where we got our Oxford tube, which was taking us to the city of Oxford. The journey was beautiful, but it was a little long. So when we reached there, we were a little hungry. So we went to this covered market where we found the Sassy Thai, where we got some nice little Asian grub, which we enjoyed quite a bit. After that, for some dessert, we went to Ben's Cookies. We got an assortment of cookies that we could eat throughout the day. And then my mum found a little bag store, so she couldn't help herself, but she had to shop. Our next stop was the heart of Oxford, where the Radcliffe Observatory is situated. Taking in that building was just magnificent. Even the way it's created, the structure is beautiful. Then while walking the scholarly streets of Oxford, we found our way at the Turf Tavern. Now this is a 12th century inn, and we said might as well we have a few beers in the afternoon there. Next on our reading list was the Bodleian Library. It's one of the oldest libraries in Europe, and it facilitates all of Oxford, so we had to pay a visit. After a long day of walking, we decided it was time for a nice little boat ride along the stream.
And these two are on the punter.
So we got into a nice paddle boat and we decided to take a tour of the city.
Can we have our bottles, bartender?
One more there. They never miss a moment.
Along the boat ride, we got attacked by ducks, which was a very rare occurrence. It happened for the first time. On the boat journey, and we saw a couple of people stuck, so we started singing for them. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream.
Melody, 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 life is just a dream.
Row, row, row my boat gently down the stream. Melody, 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 life is just a dream.
Singing,
After a long day at Oxford, it was time to head home. So we got on our bus and we made our way back to London. 7 days in London may not be enough, but thank you to all our friends and family that we met along the way and made this journey super special.
See you next Thursday.
Because Thursday is Murzeday.
Don't forget to like, share and subscribe.